Welcome to the WWise video tutorials. I'll show you a couple things including layered music, some containers we often use in Wise, creating a looping background sound with variations, and after creating those, calling them inside the Unity project and controlling them by actions. I know it sounds a bit complicated, but I believe we can. I already wrote couple layers and rendered them individually so we can use them as layers. In the Wise project, under Music Hierarchy, create a child playlist container under default work unit, and under the playlist container, create a music segment. Inside the music segment, pile the menu layers I rendered. Tempo is 120 and time signature is 44, so I don't need to change anything. I decided to use sequential container for robot voice, because I don't want to hear that all the time. You can right-click the audio track, then change it to sequence step. Then right-click, add more subtracks. I want to hear that only 1 in 4 times, so I left one field with robot voice and other 3 empty. Also, I want that fill parts of the theme randomized. So I right-click that track, then change it to random step. Then edit subtrack and fill with 2 fill parts. By that, they will be randomized and only one of them will be played. Now, go back to playlist container we have and create an order to play segments under it. Drag and drop the music segment we designed under Music Playlist Editor. Since we want it looping infinitely, make loop count infinite. Sounds like working. Now we will design another playlist for background music. Repeat the whole process till music segment part. At this one, I have A and B verses, and I want them play consecutively. So these A and B verses will be in their own sequence step audio tracks. Create an audio track, change it to sequence step and fill them by these 2 parts of each. Bass part has 3 similar passages, so I made it random step because this suits fine with the rest of music. Also, there is a disc spinning sound which I want only triggered by 50% chance. So, create another random step track, then add the one empty. After finishing the segment, repeat the process we have done in playlist container. Drag and drop and infinite loop. But at this one, I want to make things a bit complicated. I don't think it's necessary to explain steps further now. Basically, I stamped these parts into A, B, and C and created a looping version of these. Final one sounds like this. Now we will assign them on events. Go to Events tab. Under Events Default Work Unit, create 2 events named Music Menu and Music BG. Fill these events by matching playlist containers. Afterwards, assign these events to the main sound bank, then generate all. Now we can save and quit Wise and start Unity side of things. Okay, here we are. Open the Wise speaker from Window menu, refresh and generate sounds, and you should see the events we created. First of all, we should replace audio listeners to WWise audio listeners. It's not mandatory to create a game object for audio managing, but it tidies up. Create a game object and name it Audio Manager. We want to use events, so we need to load sound banks we assigned them. In that Audio Manager game object, add component named AKBank and find the sound bank we needed. By default, it loads on start and unloads when the scene ends. But since we're using the same sound bank for all levels, we don't need to unload it. So I made it nothing. Most basic form of event posting is adding a component named AK-event, then choosing the event we wanted and configuring its post triggers. By these default settings, it will start playing when we start the game. It worked, but didn't satisfy me a bit. I'm here to show you how to control events by scripting. So let's go into Audio Manager object and create the script named Audio Manager, and remove AK event from the object. There are two forms of executing events, and I'll start with the most logical one for me. Create an WWise event variable. This is the reflection of what is event for WWise. By adding that, we can choose an event we want to post. Also, a boolean variable to track status of the event. Then, let's mimic the process of previous session. Under start function, which is specific for Unity, check validity of event, and if it's valid, post it by the code on the screen. This seems working. Now I want to be able to stop this playing song. For that, I'll go with the simplest procedure. Inside update function, check if a certain key pressed and stop the playing event. Stop event code is as simple as posting. Yes, it also worked, but it was sharp. I want the fading out ending when I stop it. At the stop event code, we can execute this line with two extra parameters, one for transition duration and one for interpolation curve. After adapting the code with these parameters, let's hear it one more time. Sounds much better. Like I said, there are two ways of doing this. Now, let's dive into the second one. Instead of creating an event variable, now I create an unsigned integer to hold ID value of the event we will post. Then I order the AK sound engine to post event. But this function has lots of ways to go. I'll go with the simplest again and use the event's name as string. works exactly like before, but I want to step up this just a bit more. Revert to settings is the first form of executing syntax. Now, I want to pause and resume the playing song by pressing same key. For this, we have another function named executeAction. This function's second parameter is the type of the action, which can be resume, pause, break, or else. This tutorial is done at the moment, but I want to do the same thing for level 1. You can follow the video and see how did I do that by simply changing the event inside the audio manager. Alright, that's it for today. This video is a bit longer than I thought, but I hope it clarified the aspects of events and layered music designing in WWise. Till the next time, have a good day.